Hello and welcome back to the stream. We are back here in Chicago, and I think for this stream we're just going to play around with some commuter rail and really just focus on expanding our network. So we're just going to let our money begin building up. So again, welcome to the live stream. We are here in Chicago, where we've built up a pretty decent network. We're just going to give it a few moments to continue building up a little bit of money, and then we will get into the building. So let's just take a look at our network so far and how much we have at the moment. So we've been doing pretty well. We have $2 million saved up. Where we left off, we have our C line still pulling ahead with ridership, followed by our B line, our A line, and everything else that we've previously built. Taking a look at our station ridership, it looks pretty normal. There's no stations that are... Well, actually, there's a few stations that are pretty bad, but those are the ones to be expected. We can also take a look at our demand stats and see how we're doing with that. Expectedly, we're only moving about 2.5% of the total population of Chicago, but there are plenty of places to go and much more area to cover. So, as usual, if you guys have any suggestions for lines, let me know in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to test it out, see what we can do with it. This is really just for us to play together and chat and listen to your guys' suggestions. So, as long as you guys are talking, you guys are sort of in the driver's seat for this. And so most recently, the last line we put together was this G line. And if we look at the demand stats on it, there's nothing too crazy going on. And we're really not moving that many people along it. Good evening, welcome to the stream. So I think one thing we could do is extend this G line, try to get a bit more ridership coming onto it. Since this is our least ridden line at the moment, I think I also want to extend our commuter line, our E line, so that it's not in direct competition with our existing heavy metro. Since at the moment, this stops just before the airport and pretty much runs parallel to our existing lines. So I think there's a existing rail cutout we could follow and just extend out that way. This line is currently following South Ashland Ave. And then our A line was following, not sure if we'll get to see what street this is, but our A line is pretty much going straight through the main area of Chicago. I think later on there are plans to have more north-south lines as we build out. And it would have been nice to start with commuter rail, but unfortunately it wasn't out when we started this. So we blew all of our budget on heavy metro lines, and over the past few streams we've been building that back up. And I think we're finally at a place where we can almost continuously build without having to take too many breaks. And so that's pretty much what we're going to be doing, is trying to build this out as much as possible. Ideally use commuter rail to really extend our reach, and then use heavy metro and light metro to handle some of the denser areas of the city. And so I think the easiest way to start off is to just continue extending our E line. I know it's not the exact route of whatever rail line this is, but we can sort of just switch over to it. It looks like that'll get us to a lot of these people. We can zoom in and sort of follow this along. We can see where this goes, and it seems to be decent demand along most of this. We can also hold shift, click, and drag and get an idea of where most of them want to go. There is a good amount of people wanting to go where our existing lines are, so I think we will see some benefits from doing this. I believe where we left off, this commuter rail is elevated. We will pin our demand stats so we can see the best spots to build. And then we can just continue this out. So we'll get a stop there. And we'll want to remember, since this is commuter rail, it has a higher top speed. And in order to take advantage of that, we need to spread out our lines a little bit so that the trains have time to reach their top speeds. I think we'll get another one here. And I believe it shifts a little bit and comes through this way. I think we can get one right here. I believe that's an airport we're passing. although it doesn't look like it has many workers at all. However, there are some working nodes around it, so maybe this will be an unexpectedly higher demand line. And then I think we'll get our last station for this all the way out here. You're right, this isn't supposed to be minus 15, it's supposed to be plus 15. But yes, it is feet. We wanted this to be elevated so we get the 0.8x cost. So we'll raise this up. And then just replace all these stations. I believe our other one was here. And then I guess our next one was all the way up here. And then ending off at the edge of the map at this last station. So let's connect this up. We are building everything as quad tracks just because the game doesn't have an easy upgrade or demolish system. So we might as well build everything in quad tracks so we can take the most advantage of it as we continue to build. If we ever wanted to add an express service or merge lines together, it always helps to have these lines in place beforehand. So it doesn't really help us with squeezing out the maximum efficiency, but it does help us with future-proofing, just in case we want to build something crazy farther on down the line. So connecting all this up with elevated rail is pretty easy, especially as the building model sort of breaks down out here. And then I think we have one more station. And hopefully this isn't too expensive. It'll be a nice cheap extension that should help our ridership out a good amount. So add in a crossover. And that should be all we need at the moment. This will cost us 800 million. And then we just extend our E line all the way to the end of this. So we can confirm, check our frequency, which now I think we should probably increase it by 1 or 2 trains. So I think maybe 16 minutes on high demand is good, 22 minutes on medium demand, and then 33 minutes in low demand. That all sounds good. We'll leave that line at 6 cars for now. And then we'll just take a moment to let everything catch up, and we can start to see how those 4 extra stations are doing. And so another line I was thinking we could probably build is going west out of the city, pretty much just going straight west. I am not familiar with Chicago at all, so that makes this kind of fun, having no real prior knowledge. I'm not sort of bound by lines that I know exist, even though there are pretty clear cutouts through the city for trains. But I think along this road here seems to be a pretty strong corridor that we could most definitely take advantage of. I think the question is whether we use heavy metro or commuter rail for this line. Commuter rail, we can use larger trains. I think we can use larger trains. We could probably check that quick. I'm pretty sure the capacity... Actually, no, heavy metro has much higher capacity. Commuter rail is much faster, though. So I think that's going to have to be a decision that we make. This could probably be heavy metro, to be honest. This would be a really good collector line for all of our north-south lines. And then maybe we have commuter lines branch off of that. So I think let's do that. We'll do heavy metro. That'll give us the capacity advantage in the future. And then it looks like this is wide enough we could maybe add some parallel commuter lines if we ever wanted to branch off or make any other connections. Yeah, so we'll go heavy metro for the capacity. I think these stops are going to be a bit closer anyway, so it doesn't hurt to just use heavy metro. The commuter rail probably wouldn't be able to get up to top speed anyway. So we'll have a line crossing our C line. We'll have another stop that's really close, crossing over our other two stations. And then here's where we want to pin our demand stats. And I think we'll just take this out west. We'll have to keep an eye on our money, since this can get expensive really quick. We don't want to just burn through that. So I think we'll get another stop here. We'll get one crossing over this station. And then here's where we want to start to be a little careful about this, because we want to plan for the future and we want to make sure we have crossovers or intersecting stations where we want to have them in the future. So I think maybe this street would be a good spot to have one. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I think all of these, what look like buildings in between this, might be existing platforms. If this is a rail line, I suppose I could just check any sort of map and see, but I'm pretty sure that's what already comes through here. So we'll almost follow this. I think this was the street we wanted to cross. And then this is one that we definitely want to make sure we intersect at. I think we'll stop it there because I think our costs are starting to catch up to us. We're already at 520 million for stations alone. So let's build out the tracks and see where that gets us before we extend any more. Now, unfortunately, we are going to have to demolish this building. I don't think there's much we can do about that. Or maybe not, because that's a $1.6 billion demolition cost. And so maybe these first three stations are underground instead. That will make it a little tricky at our C line, because I believe that is underground as well. Let's just see if we can build this. Looks like a no. Maybe we can build it just at the end of it, although that would restrict us. Although there's nothing out this way, it's not like we would extend this past that point anyway. So I think we will just do that. I think those will still become a station group. And then we also have to clear these stations. Unfortunately, we might have to cut into a 2x cost. So let's go minus 40 feet. Although that still would connect with or intersect with our D line. I guess since we're already minus 2, it doesn't hurt to go a little bit deeper. And so I guess at that point, this station might as well also go pretty deep. But we'll keep this at a 1x cost, so we can still intersect with our C line and not waste money. And then at this point, once we pass this station, we can come above ground and continue on that way. So let's get this built. We can now pretty much just drag, although this is still stuck at minus 30. Let's see how deep this is. So we should be able to clear it without going too much deeper. Let's see if maybe minus 40 gets us past it. It looks like it does. And then we can turn the foundation depth off. And then bring this back up. And then finally, we should be able to come back. Hello, welcome to the stream. We are currently building Heavy Metro West out of Chicago. So we have to find a good spot to come above ground. I think maybe here. If we can get this just right and not intersect with the roads. It looks like we can get this above ground. And then we should be good to go from here. It should be pretty straightforward connecting the rest of these stations. I believe we have one more. We'll try not to demolish anything. And hopefully by the end of this, it'll be still pretty cheap and we won't have to sit around and wait for money afterwards. So we add a crossover right here, and then another one at the other end of the line. Now let's take a look at the cost. 1 billion exactly. I think that is pretty good. Let's just build what we have right now, and then we'll continue extending it, because there's still plenty more of Chicago to connect to along this corridor, it looks like. And we can continue with our naming convention. We ended off with G. So I think next would be H. Yeah, I'm building quad tracks just for future-proofing everything. Not really sure what's going to happen, and the game doesn't reward you well for demolishing or even allow upgrades easily. So we're gonna do heavy metro or quad tracks pretty much wherever possible. Just so that if we ever wanted to branch or have an express line or do anything else with combining tracks, we have the rail space available to do so. So we'll have that added. We'll have to buy a few more cars for heavy metro. We'll get some decent frequency on this and begin letting it play out. And so hopefully this will also boost ridership of the G line, since we were having some ridership issues there. Having this connection pretty much down one of the main corridors of Chicago should help, at least as a transfer line from the G line. So let's see how we're doing on our E line where we extended earlier. I see a few dots turning blue. Let's take a look at station ridership. So we're still getting 6,000, 5,000 people per station up here. I think that's okay. It is bringing our E line a bit higher up in our ridership. Now, there's not really much else to expand this to, but we could branch off of it in the future. That could also help ridership. Our H line, our newest line, is still building up, so this number isn't going to be too accurate until I think after 24 hours is how long this cycle takes. We can take a look at our money. Turns out we do have a bond from the last stream that we will pay off. We won't have that interest eating away at our profits. And we can see how our money has built up so far. It's been pretty consistently going up, so we're making the right decisions. Looks like we're sitting at just about $200 million of profit. And so with 6 million left, I think we will just continue expanding this line out. I think maybe this river might be a good stopping point. So we'll go out to there before continuing with some more, probably commuter rail. We'll get a stop there. Looks like here might be another good location. And then here, I think this is another one of our north-south roads that we'll want to connect eventually. And then we'll stop here because I think this is also another one of those roads where we will have a future line. I think that'll be what we build out to for now on our H line. And then we just need to connect this up with tracks. And that's only going to cost 11 million to demolish. I think we're okay spending that. And we'll continue moving forward, weave through all of this. And then finish up connecting to this last station. So we'll toss in another crossover, build these blueprints. Looks like that was about 500 million. But I think for 4 more stations, that's not a terrible cost. And we just have to quickly add these in. And then probably adjust our frequencies. Yeah, I think we'll take these all up by 1. And we'll let this play and see how it goes. And so we're beginning to see a lot of population come to this line. It hasn't been 24 hours yet, so we won't be able to get an accurate view of that at the moment. But we can start to scope out some of the next locations for some commuter rail lines. And it looks like we have this existing rail corridor we could follow. Looks like it splits into 2, maybe even a third one, or maybe that's something else cutting through. And it looks like this could go all the way out west this way. Looks like there's another one here, although that's maybe what we were following before. That might be where that ends up going. But we're just going to follow this highway. Yeah, I think we'd probably follow this highway pretty far. Or we would pick up the rest with some commuter rail. And then we have this line that goes all the way back up north. I'm not sure what our demand looks like in the northern area of Chicago. It seems a bit more spread out than some of the other areas. It seems like going west would probably get us the most potential for people. South is also a really good area, at least until we hit this river. It seems like it kind of spreads out south of the river. But I think we could probably extend our sea line, because I think we're following an existing corridor. We could extend our sea line and pick up some of these people. We have our A line, which might not be bad to connect to this airport, because there is a good amount of nodes here. Maybe we could make this switch, come into here, and then follow this road. And that walk shouldn't be too far for someone to take. And then we can just sort of follow this road out the rest of the way with our A line. But I think those are 2 changes we make after our next commuter rail line. And so I think doing it from through this corridor is probably our best option. And I think our H line is far enough away that we wouldn't be cutting into that ridership too much if we were to make a line going through this. It would also be more spread out, so we wouldn't be competing with as many stations. Plus, I think at the moment, to introduce a third line running through this area would probably be too much, given how little our network stretches. So, I think that's going to be our next move. We do also have something that looks like it goes south this way. But we can't explore this right now. We'll do that after the fact. So the question is, do we bring this line, this commuter rail line, all the way in and try to squeeze it between these buildings? Or do we make this sort of a commuter rail hub? Which might not be the worst idea. Our B line still connects us to most of this area. And we could realistically go underground with our E line and get a station maybe here? Or extend our D line up and around. We have options. I think we'll just build a station here for now, and then if we want to go into the city, we can try. If not, that would be okay as well. We'll give ourselves some space to turn if we need to. We'll pin some demand stats. And we can continue building this out. So it looks like at some point it curves, or maybe we just went down the wrong way. But we want to get in here. And then I think really what we want this to do is cross over only at the major intersections that we'll have farther on in the future. So I think this road was one that we wanted to do, Western Ave. It's a bit of a shorter distance, but it should still be okay. Then I think this road, I think this one goes pretty far north, although it's not a perfect straight shot. I think this road might have been better to follow. Pulaski Road. I think we'll intersect at that one instead. I don't think the shift of one block would be too much if we end up adding a line here between our H line and whatever this one's going to be. I think we'll want another station here. That's pretty close to our previous one. I think we get one more here, and then we go all the way out to this street, and then one more. I think it was this one. So then at this point we can really just go however far we want, go to wherever the demand is. So yeah, this is a good connection. Although looking at our spacing, we probably, well, I think we do want this one. I think it's this station that's sort of throwing our spacing off, but there's not really a better road to connect to. We could just also not have one here. But I think we'll leave it for now. It'll be easier to take it out in the future if we wanted to. I'm just looking at the rest of the map. It looks like there's something that sort of comes through here. Unfortunately, we kind of have to go through this dead zone. I'm not sure what's here in real life. But maybe we add a station here. We want to keep an eye on our cost. I think maybe we end it there for now, since we are getting close to how much money we currently have. And so we'll just build this out with tracks, see how much money we have remaining, and then maybe then we will build out more. But this will be a tight fit. We can still get that through there without demolishing anything. Looks like we'll just barely be able to squeeze in through there. Get that all connected up. Short trip to the next station. Another short trip to the next station. And then we have to squeeze our way between some buildings. I don't think I built that station perfectly parallel. But now we should be back to pretty straightforward track building. Just follow the lines. And we should be good. So we'll throw in a crossover. Another crossover. And I don't think we'll be too far over budget. I saw that pop up just as we were finishing the line. So that's going to cost us $1 billion. I think this is a case we could just get a quick bond and then wait a few seconds for some money to come in. So we're almost there. Hopefully we can get it before it goes into night. Because at that point we might start losing some money. We might just barely catch it. Build all of that. And now we can add this as our next line. So the next letter we're at is I. And the color we haven't used yet, we'll go with a lighter pink. And this will be commuter rail. Create that. And then this can just come through everything we just built. And so that's all of those stations. We'll have that confirmed. We are out of train cars, so we're going to have to buy a few more. We're going to have to let this play to build up money, actually. We can get 2 trains in high demand at the moment. I think we'll probably want 3, looking at these frequency numbers. So we just have to let this build up just enough for us to buy a few more cars. And while we're waiting, we can sort of see where our capacity is getting us in low demand hours. So it did go up a little bit. We see it rising again here. So we might want to go up to 6 cars eventually. 4 cars seems to be okay for now. Actually, we just went a little over, but I think we're technically in medium demand. Let's see if we can buy more. We'll buy 6 and see where that gets us. That gives us 1 more in high demand. I think we almost want 2 in low demand. And then we'll do 3 in medium demand. And then we'll keep an eye on these warnings and see if any of our lines are overloading, which I keep seeing our D line pop up. So I think we're finally starting to get some use out of this line. Even though the D line is still one of our least ridden lines, it is still kind of short compared to a lot of the others. And it looks like our C line just crossed over 100,000 people, so that is pretty big as well. And we can see all the movement we're getting here in Center City, Chicago. A lot of people getting on and off of our A line. Probably a lot of people transferring here. I think we're seeing some good stuff going on. We have a bit more money. We can get back to this line, and I think we'll just buy a whole handful of cars. We will need them eventually. I think we'll get up to 4 trains in high demand. But we can get back to addressing our D line, which we might want to just follow. Or actually, I think we'll just go up to 4 cars per train. There's not much of a reason not to, since it seems like the ridership is starting to keep up with it. It's better than increasing the frequency. We can be more efficient with fewer trains. And we'll pay off this bond so that the interest isn't eating into us. And I think let's let this sit for a second. We'll let some of these stats begin to build up so we can take a look at how we're doing so far, and also give us a moment to increase our money. So again, if you guys have any suggestions on lines to build, please put them in the comments. I'm more than happy to follow your guys' suggestions. Thank you for being here in the stream. So I believe we've let a good amount of time pass. I'm not sure it's been a full day yet, but we can begin to take a look at our stats. So far we've almost doubled our overall transit ridership. I believe we started this at about 2.2%. Now we're up to just over 4%. I don't think we'll be getting anywhere near double digits in this stream, but we can see some of these colors beginning to change. I think our most successful is still our C line. That is doing very well for us. But we do have other areas that seem to be starting to pick up. Along our H line, this is turning pretty purple. Especially our A line just south of the river. That's starting to look pretty good. Taking a look at some other stats. So our ridership, that's still changing. One thing we forgot to do was switch this icon to triangle for commuter rail. And so currently our designation is circles for heavy metro, squares for light metro, and then triangles for commuter rail. I don't think we actually confirmed this. We'll have to save those changes. I think this now shakes out appropriately. Actually, yeah, our H line has to switch to circle for heavy metro. So this is doing pretty good. Our I line is up to 25,000 people. Our H line has slowly shot up to match our A line at 54,000 people. I think this would be a good time to take a look at station ridership and where a lot of that's coming from. It does look like we're getting a lot of that coming from the G line and transferring. We could look at transfers only, and there's 10,000 people transferring here. So I think having a whole row of north-south lines along the H line will definitely serve us well. But looking at some of our other numbers, we're pretty much at 5,000 people at every station elsewhere along the line. Same for our I line, besides maybe one or two spots where it's a bit lower. But I think these north-south lines will prove to be very good for us once we have the money to really start to establish those. I think if we click this station, we can get a more in-depth breakdown of this. We can see the usage by hour. So it looks obviously like we're getting the most people in our high demand hours. We are getting some people in low demand. We can see what trains are coming here. The share of ridership. So our H line has more people at this stop. I don't think there's too much we can really synthesize from that. Just clicking at a few others here. They're all pretty much going to look the same. I think we're always going to have the spikes in high demand. I'm struggling to think of an instance where there would be a spike in low demand. But that might be helpful for analyzing capacities and frequencies. But we can take a look at our money after our most recent changes, and it does look like we've settled at around 250 million of operational profit a day. So that's been a huge bump. So there's much less waiting around now. I think we can look at extending some of these lines. I think first of all we're going to go to our C line. And we've been seeing some capacity issues pop up quite frequently along here. I think we're going to pretty much preemptively increase the frequency. We'll go up to 9 cars in high demand. We'll go up to 7 in medium. And then 4 in low demand. And that's mostly just to anticipate the extension we're going to add. So pulling up our demand stats, Fortunately, this C line would have been a great line to have as commuter rail, but we did not have this set up before the update. So I think light metro will still work out just fine. We'll just have to run a lot more smaller trains on this instead. But we'll pin this, come into our construction menu, and now we'll be building some light metro. I believe we're elevated still, and we're going to stay elevated. And this should be pretty easy to follow, and really only having stops at all the major intersections. So you can sort of see where those already exist. This seems a little bit short, so we'll skip to the next road. And then I think we'll go this road, because we have that large node next to us, and we can maybe start to pick up some of this one. And then down here where we can pick up some of these. We still have a good amount of way to go on this map. This really stretches far. I'm debating on if we're placing these a little too close together. But maybe this is still good spacing. I think we'll leave it as is, but maybe we'll try to space this out just a little bit more as we continue. I think getting one there. We're already up to 420 million. We might have to call it for the moment. And this should be easy enough. This is a pretty wide corridor to fit through. So we shouldn't have to worry about demolishing buildings at all. Just quick, easy connections between stations. And hopefully we don't go over our current budget. We're almost at the end of the line, and we just ran out of money. So I think by the time we end up placing all this track down, we should be caught up. We can take a look and see that we only need 800 million to finish this up. We're currently at 715. This is going to extend a good way into South Chicago. This corridor really has a good amount of density along the whole thing. Hopefully our C line can keep up. We might have to run... I suppose we could run an express line along this soon enough, just to help with demand. So maybe that's something we start looking into. And we have the quad track already set up, so we just need the crossovers at the ends. But I don't quite think we're ready. I think maybe if we extend it one more time, that's when we would probably look to adding that. But any moment here, as we enter the morning rush, we should get the money to be able to finish this up. We can see all the purple that we're getting along our C line up here. Hopefully that's what we can continue to get as we go down this way. It does seem like a lot of these people want to go up to our existing network. So momentarily, I think we just need 50 million more as we enter rush hour. So this should speed up quite significantly. We can see our D line is still pushing capacity during high demand hours. we now have enough money to build this. We can throw that in. Let that build. And then we can extend our current route. So this is our C line. And we'll just edit the route. So we can see how long this line is taking. And once we add all of these, we should be able to see how long it takes to go from end to end. So we just have to wait. So it's almost 50 minutes to go from one end of this all the way to the other. Or I guess that's from one end and back. So it's about a 25-minute trip from one end to the other. That's not awful yet, but that you could use that to justify setting up an express route. And I think we're still pretty good on our frequencies. I think we just go up to 10 trains in high demand. I think 7 in medium is okay. And then 5 in low demand. And so it's going to take a minute to reroute. But if we let this run for a second with this menu up, we can begin to see how full we get. And it looks like some of these do get pretty full. And unfortunately, we can't increase capacity anymore. And we're already up there on frequency. But I think we'll just let this run. We'll take a look later on in the stream how this is doing. But I already see a bunch of red nodes moving, or the population dots moving to the C line down there. So we're back down to 150 million. We can pull up our demand stats and see maybe some of the better locations to extend into. So it looks like we could extend our G line north if we wanted to. We could also extend our A line. Although I think maybe our G line might be better. I think these two are going to merge at some point. Probably when the roads connect up this way. I'm not sure how we'll handle that when that ultimately happens. I don't know if we have the G line stop and we let the A line continue. That's probably what we'll do. I think that just makes sense as the G line isn't supposed to be anything too large anyway. Or another thing we could do is build another north-south line. And I think Western Ave, although that is kind of close to our G line, I think it's spread out just enough to take advantage of it. If we go north-south on Western Ave, that could be a pretty good connection. It connects to a lot of our lines, so it would cross over with our D line, our H line, our I line, B line, and E line. So that could be a pretty important connection there. The only issue with that is doing this would be pretty expensive, as I think if I remember from our G line, we have to go pretty deep to get under our B line. and it just ended up costing a bunch of money to pass that. Although we could extend our A line further southwest, that could be an option. There's a good amount of people there that we have yet to touch. There's also a lot of this group of people that I don't think any of the roads sort of perfectly run through there. Or maybe there's one, it looks like. So maybe this branches off of our B line and then comes up this road. That might actually be a pretty good connection to make before doing some more north-south lines. And we can take a little bit of an idea on the demand there. And there is, I'd say the majority of the people do want to go into this area of Chicago where we already have coverage. So I think maybe we do that first. We cross over here. We have a station here that's going to compete with our I line, but that's okay because then it splits. And then we just have the connections at the other roads we plan to cross over at. And then we pretty much just decide wherever we want to end it, since it seems like there's still a good amount of demand along that road as well. Yeah, I think I was thinking this A line shifts down to this road to serve the airport here. And then that way we can take advantage of the capacity of that line and the demand in this area. So actually maybe let's make that connection, because if I recall correctly, there is a huge demand for workers right here. And so I think what I wanted to do was maybe have a station here, have it shift down, and then cross over here where this walking distance isn't too far, and then we can continue our A line past it. So I think let's follow through with that. That is a good suggestion that I forgot I prompted to earlier this stream. So we'll do minus 15. We are going to have to squeeze between the buildings here. So I guess we could run this. I guess we have two options, really. We could either go west, which does sort of run into a dead end population-wise. Or if you're saying the terminal is on the east side, which here's what we see that. We could divert the A line south and then follow this road. Although, what road is this? I do think in the future we will have a line going south down this road anyway. So I think maybe we keep the A line going west, and then when we do build a metro line on Cicero Ave, that would come down and serve the terminal here. So I think we would... I guess if we're going to build a line going here, we could have the A line follow this road and then have a crossover transfer station. And that way we don't have to swerve off of the road that we're currently following. So I think let's do that. If we're going to eventually have a line on Cicero Ave, we'll just continue, have another one at this road. And then we'll end this right where these roads meet for now. We could probably add 1 or 2 more stations, but we don't have too much money. I think 4 stations is usually about 500 million for heavy metro. So this will end up using most of our money. But I think that means the next line we'll have to build is that north-south line on Cicero Ave, which shouldn't be too hard. We will probably have to save up money to get that connection, but we could start it at the airport so we can take advantage of our A line and this connection. So finishing this up, just have to squeeze between these buildings, and then we can easily connect up there. Add this crossover for just over 500 million. And then extend this line. So that's another extension to our A line. Looking at our trains, I think we could afford to go up 1 train per demand. Maybe we go up 1 more in high demand. I think we'll do that. We'll go up 1 more train in high demand. Up to 13 minutes of frequency. And then we'll let our money build as we think about our next line going up Cicero Ave. I think what this means is we'll maybe want to adjust our D line, because I don't think when we built this we were thinking about these connections. But it would be good to have our D line stop so we can take advantage of that. Thankfully, we only have to chop off 1 station and a bit of track. But while we're waiting for money to build up, we can start this line. This, I think, is going to be heavy metro. We are going to have to go under this terminal. So I think we're going to have to go into 2x cost territory. Get that connection made. And then we'll stay this low down at minus 30 so that we can cross our A line. And we'll want to pull up our demand. And then guess here. We'll have our crossover with our D line when we get around to fixing that. This seems like a major road, so we're going to have a bit of a shorter connection. I suppose we could use a bond to build out this line. I think we'll do that. We'll build out this to connect all the way up and see how much that costs, and then we can trim it back for whatever bond we want to go with. So I think we'll try to squeeze one more in before we reach our H line. This is elevated, so we don't have to worry about crossing. We have this road, then our I line, and then I'm trying not to stop too often with this, because we could stop here, but that just feels really close. I'm not sure if that's really, that might be worth it. It lines up with the spacing we've been doing previously. Maybe we just continue to roll with it. So we'll go there. Following this pattern of roads. Now here's going to be a little bit tricky. Now we could choose this east-west road to cross over at, or this road where we were talking about building a line earlier. And I think we'll go with this for now, and then if for some reason we do end up building a line along, I guess this is West North Ave. If we build a line along here, we can always just add another station right in the middle. But then we just continue north. And so I think the spacing we're going with now lends us really well to future express service, because I don't think there's really any need for these lines to, or for these stations to be this close to each other. And so when we do have an express line, we can skip maybe 2 or 3 of these at a time. So unfortunately, neither our B line or our E line has a station here. Thankfully, we're close to the end of the B line, so we can fix this and have an intersection here. That way we get some good connection to the airport, and maybe we extend our F line to this intersection. So I actually don't mind that idea too much. However, actually it looks like we can build this at -15. I'm not sure what we built this B line at. I guess we're still at -30. Not sure when we drop down, but I guess that's okay to be at -30, as long as we remember that's where we were. And I think we'll stop here. Now I'm kind of scared to look at this cost. I'm sure it's going to be $1 million, if not over. So yeah, we're already at 1.5 billion on stations alone. And so I think how this is going to go is we're going to build south. We'll see how far we can get with our current money, and then we'll trim this line back to fulfill how much money we currently have. So we'll at least want a handful of stations on this line. Now that I'm looking at it, I think maybe we'd get one station here before we cross the river. And then I think if we can at least get to our H line, that would be a pretty good goal. And then we can focus on expanding this farther north later on. And so that puts us at 1.92 billion. I'm thinking we could take out the $1 billion bond. So we're going to start cutting back these stations. And let's cut it back to our I line and see where that gets us. So we're at 1.2 billion. We can continue to build this up. And we might have a slight conflict with buildings. I think we could avoid it if we're careful, but we'll spend the 830,000 to get around it. And so this puts us at 1.3 billion. I think we'll continue with a few more stations. I think 2 more. And we'll be at a good stopping point. Because we are going to be taking out a bond for this. We want to make sure we have money for trains. So this leaves us at 1.5 billion. I think we'll go with that. So we come into here, we issue our $1 billion bond. Or $1 billion. We build this blueprint. And then we add a new route. So this is now our J line. For color, we're going to start running out of colors here soon. For color, let's just go with we already have blue. Let's go with this color. It's similar to some of our other ones, but that's okay when we're running out of colors anyway. I can't remember, I think we added crossovers. We didn't, so we're going to have to add those in first. So we throw one in there. Throw one in here. And then we can come back to this J line and connect it all up. We can confirm that. That is 18 minutes. And then we need to buy some trains. I think we'll get 3 on high demand, 2 on medium demand, and we'll do 2 on low demand as well. And then we can let this play. Alright, so we'll let this build up again. We'll come back soon and see what kind of demand we are getting on this line. And we'll also take a moment to build up some more money. And so we're seeing some good movement going around now. I think what we can do quick is throw in another station on our D line, and then maybe extend it out a little bit. And then I think we'll be in a pretty good spot after that. Now, I don't know where our previous crossover was. Looks like it's back here. So we'll have to cut back our D line in order for us to delete this, build a light metro station, and then putting in an elevated station crossing over here. We have that stop. I think we bring it down to this road. And maybe we go just a little bit further, and this will be where it stops. Hopefully we're keeping this within our budget. We're not doing anything too crazy, so looks like we just need a moment and we'll have the money for this. Yeah, we are just over our budget. So in a minute we'll get this built and our D line will be extended just a bit further out. And we can build this. Grab our D line. And did we forget a crossover? No, we didn't. So we can extend this all the way out. We'll probably have to increase our trains. So we can confirm. Pretty sure that got everything. Yeah, that got everything. Trains. Buy a few more. Looks like we can only buy 6. And we'll go 3, 2, 1 on our demand. And hopefully that should help out. It'll help out our D line. It should help out this line a bit more. I think we're starting to get a pretty solid network in here. I think we really need to focus on some of the gaps we have north and south, and then really just getting a wide reach out west, which I think we're prepared to do with this commuter rail line. We just don't have it extended yet. I think now we can pretty much take a look at everything, recap what we've done in this stream. I think we're at a good stopping point. We'll build up a bunch of money for the next stream, and it'll definitely be more than 2 million we started with this time, and we can really just build the whole time, build something hopefully pretty widespread and crazy, and really just take this to the next level in the next stream. But for now, let's take a look at how we've grown. Our demand is almost at 5%. Some things are probably still changing. These workers nodes are changing. It looks like the ones at the airports are getting a little bit purple. We can see this one's actually doing really well. We have about 26% of the people taking our metro network. And then looking at this place, even though it's not fully connected or as well connected as we would like, we are still getting a good amount of people. Also about 25% here. And so I think that's doing well. Our route ridership. So after all of this, our D line is still at the bottom. We didn't really touch it until the end here. So this might actually jump up. Looks like it just did jump up above our G line. So that is going well. Looks like our J line is doing somewhat well with 28,000 people. It's also not fully expanded. I'm sure once we connect up to here, this will become a vital connection, more specifically between airports. Although I don't think people really commute between airports. But having that connection to the B line will be really important once we get that made. Looks like our C line with our extension has added another 25,000 people, bringing us up to almost 130,000. So this is definitely becoming easily our best line. And I think we are reaching the territory to split this to an express service. All the other lines are doing very well. Our H line is starting to push up there with our top 3, currently sitting at about 70,000 riders. Taking a look at our station ridership, we can see we're getting a lot of transfers along our J line. I believe those are probably people going to the airport. We have a good amount of people elsewhere. So it looks like things are doing well here. 6K, 11K, 11K, 22K here. Almost 40,000 right about here. And then lastly, we have our $1 billion bond that we need to pay off. I'll try to remember to pay this off between streams so we don't start with this interest and this huge amount of money we have to pay back. Our all-time graph continues to shoot up. I think maybe we have to give it one more day to see where we end up settling. But currently we are pushing 300 million in operational profit a day. Looks like the graph is trying to update. But that's also good. I think maybe soon we can start to lower our fare prices down to get more riders. Because I think I'd really like to focus on ridership more than money, especially once we can get a very consistent flow of money in. But I think other than that, thank you guys for being here for the stream. I think there might be a slight change in the weekly streams. We might push this back to 7 or 7:30, so keep an eye out for that. But again, thank you guys for being here and supporting this. I very much enjoy it and getting to talk with you guys. So, thanks again. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.